Okay, here we go. This is lesson Mn6. Okay, Mn6. And this is on solving multi-step linear inequalities. And it is required that you write down everything I write down. Okay, so everything I write down, your paper should look pretty much identical to mine, except in your handwriting instead of my handwriting. Okay. Okay. So our examples, it actually ties lessons that we've already done together. Yeah, so today, while you guys are working on your homework, I'll work on correcting some of your old homeworks so you can see some of your errors. We're going to have a quiz on Wednesday. So I want to make sure you guys are prepared for the quiz. So I need to be looking at your homework to see if you're doing it right. Okay, so for example 1, okay, so we have 7x minus 5 greater than or equal to, let's see, what number do I want this to be? We'll do 9. Okay, so what do I do first? So you guys type what I do first. Okay, so plus 5 plus 5. Okay, what next? What do we do next? I agree. Divide by what? Mm-hmm. Okay, now put a little arrow right here by the 7 and put if you divide, multiply by a negative, you have to switch the direction of the inequality sign. Okay, so the words I write are as important as the numbers I'm writing. So make sure you include that in your notes. When you look back at these things later, the words are going to be way more important than the numbers themselves. But when you read the words, you're like, I don't know what that means. And then you look at the example to see what it means. Okay, so this one you get x, you bring down the inequality sign, and then what's 14 divided by 7? Okay, this is the algebraic answer. But we also have a graphing answer. Okay, so there's like 2 answers, but usually people don't put a box around this answer. So usually don't put a box, but just so you know, there's actually 2 answers. So if you were doing like a test where you put an answer on the answer line, x greater than or equal to 2 is one answer, and then the graph is the visual representation of that answer. Okay, so I put 2 on here, right? And then is that closed dot or open dot? Closed and then to the right. Now, some of you just kind of drew like trace this other line, and yours looked like this. That's not how it's supposed to look. So you have to make it thicker because it's supposed to be a bunch of open dots. Okay, so it's a bunch of open dots, so please make them thicker. I know the way that some of you did them in middle school was different, but we're in high school now and we need to make sure that we do it this way. Okay, so those are the 2 answers. Okay. Okay, example 2, negative 2x, a minus 5 greater than or equal to 19. So similar question. So what's the first thing that we do? Okay. Okay. And then some of you were subtracting 9 in the homework. So you got to remember that mom is the one who's outside and you're trying to be alone. So you're trying to move this 5. Okay. And then later you'll divide the hug. But some of you are moving the mom. So if you did move the mom and you did the whole homework wrong, you have to redo those homeworks. So we'll have to look at that because some of you made some errors. You have to make sure you're looking at your notes when you do your homework. Okay. Okay, Alex, are you writing down all your steps? Because I know some of your steps you were missing in your other notes. So Alex, can you make sure that you're writing all the steps? Okay. Then what? You guys, then what? Yes, in a minute. We're going to. So good, good. You're just one step ahead of me. Oh, wait, let's do Andrew's step. Andrew said divide by -2. And then Maddox, exactly. So put a little arrow and put divide by negative and just put a little star. Okay, so since you divided by the negative, you're going to switch the sign to the other direction and put a little star here too. Okay, and that'll remind you that's the only difference between equations and inequalities, multiplying or dividing. So that's x, switch the symbol, and then that's what, -7? So this is your algebraic answer. Let me check, maybe Ali is texting me. No, he's not. Okay. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot to send. Now, Sonia, I think you came, right? Okay, so let me change you to tardy. Okay, and then you know what? I didn't send Allie's parents a message that said, hey, get Allie to class. He may have, overslept his alarm or something. Let me send that message. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. So if you divide by a negative, now it's not that there's a negative on the, like in the black, it's that your red is negative. So let me show you one more example of this type, and then we'll kind of switch things up a little bit. Okay, so say I have 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to -11. Okay. And what do we do? Okay. Is subtracting 3 dividing by a negative? Yeah, no. So subtracting 3 is not considered dividing by a negative. Okay, so then don't switch the sign. I always decide that as soon as I write the sign. And then what about down 11, down 3? Okay, down 14. Okay, there's lots more downs, right? Okay, and then divide by? Okay, I'm gonna divide by 2. Now let's put a little arrow here. And these arrows will help us remember, okay, what are we supposed to do? Now, did you divide by a negative? Okay, so let's put no. Over here, I guess I should put yes. So we said no. Now, what sometimes people think is that I am dividing with a negative. So see how the 14 is negative? That doesn't make you switch the sign. Okay, so the negative on the top is not what does it. It's this negative in the denominator that if you divide by a negative, it switches the sign. Okay, so this one stays the same. Oh, and what did I forget to do on example 2 and example 3? What did I forget to do on both those examples? Yeah, I forgot to graph. Okay, so let's do a little graph. -7. Open circle or closed circle on these? Closed. Oh, and then remember we were writing less, so you could tell which one was the less than sign. Tess. Okay, Tess is not less. So less is to the left. And make your line thick. You guys, I do look at your notes, and I'm giving you credit for your notes. Okay, and the way that it works is if you don't do all the examples or you're missing the words, then usually I have you resubmit it, like do it and resubmit it. It's not that I give you a lower grade necessarily. It's that I make you do it, and then it counts as a missing assignment until you do it. Okay, and I'm trying to handle missing assignments with you guys first. Some of you are missing multiple missing assignments, so I did send messages to your parents, but I did, what it was interesting is I found that some of you who are missing assignments, it's just because you uploaded them in the wrong place. So we'll fix all that, and nothing is late until we get this figured out. So probably at the end of this week, then we'll make sure, hey, things need to be on time and we'll figure them out. But it takes a little while to get stuff in. So it's okay if you guys are turning stuff late in right now. Okay. And if I ever ask you to redo it, then that's not late. Okay. So you kind of got the hang of that. Feel like you got the hang of that? Okay. So let's do this one. X divided by 3 minus 6 is less than 2. And then let me see, I think I want to call on some people. So let me go back into my other, my counter. So I think if some of you are not talking too much. So I'll just call on you, it's fine. Okay. Okay, Ali's not here. Okay. Okay, so add 6. I agree. X over 3 less than 8. Okay, Manny. Manny, do you remember what we do with the 3 at the bottom? So the rest of you don't answer. So Manny or Gia?
Do we multiply?
You got to type it. You got to type it. Okay, sorry. You got to type. Okay. So what do you do with the 3? Anyone remember? Well, not anyone. So Saif, you're on. Saif, you're on. Manny or Gia? Okay, yeah, you multiply by 3. Okay, so I'm going to change colors. So put times 3. Okay, times 3. Now, put a note. Okay, put a note over here. Put an arrow that says multiplying by a negative and put a question mark. So did you multiply by a negative? No. Okay, so don't switch sign. Okay, so put this, multiply by negative, don't switch sign. Okay, so this would be X is less than 24. Okay, so we need a sketch. 24. Okay, and again, I need some more chats from Euron, Saif, Manny, Gia. Okay, so open circle. Open circle. And you can write stuff other people wrote. Yeah, and that's okay. Okay, and then this is a less, right? So which way is this? To the left. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So example 5, we're going to have one just the same, except what if you have a negative on the bottom? Sounds good? Okay, so what do you do with this one? What do you do with this one? Gia, is your chat working? Gia, is your chat working? So Gia, if you're here, can you just put here? Because it's like you just said good morning and then you haven't said anything since. Okay. Gia, are you still here? Okay, I'm gonna put my phone number in. So Gia, if you're having trouble typing, text me. Because it looks like you disappeared. Okay. Okay, you guys are correct. So you guys are correct. Subtract 2. So x over -4 less than -1. And then what? I'm going to send a quick message to Gia's parents just to see maybe she... So what should I say? She joined our class, but seems to have disappeared, right? That seems to have disappeared. So that she rejoins us ASAP. Oops. She's a new student. She's oh, you know what? I don't think that other one went out. You guys, when I send these messages, I have to hit it. I have to have my Outlook open, and I forget that sometimes. So I think that one to Allie's family didn't go out. I have to remember that. Okay. Multiply by 4. Now you are going to multiply by 4, but what kind of 4 are you going to multiply by? Yeah, you have to multiply by the identical. Okay, now over here on the left, put an arrow and put multiply by a negative, and that would be a yes. So what do you think about the switching sign? Yeah, so then you switch the sign. Okay. This is what? X, and then greater than +4. So I'm going to put a star here. Let's put a star here in red. Okay. It doesn't matter what color the number line is in. 4, open or closed? Okay, open. And then, is that a less? That's a greater than, right? Okay, so to the right. Okay, cool. Okay. Now let me look if there are little, oh, there's one. Let's do another. So these are more the unique ones, okay? So let's do one of these. Okay, what if we have a number like this? I'll have that be a 12. Okay. You guys, I just changed that to a 12 from a 2. Okay, so what do you think you do first? What do you think? Nice. You know what's nice about distance learning is we're practicing using our vocabulary better too. Now this is 12, but not 12 minus f. What is this? 12 minus what? Yeah, 12 minus 4f. Okay, agree. Greater than 12. Then what? What's next? Okay, agree. Now make sure you bring down the negative. That's a very common mistake people make. Oh, what do I put on the right? You guys, what do I put on the right? Yeah, 0. Okay, then what? What do I do next? Okay. By what? Okay, -4 on both sides. Nice. Okay, I love how you get that through. Okay, F. Oh, alert, alert, right? What do I have to do? Yes, I have to switch. Switch it to the other direction. And then 0 divided by 4. Hold on, my desk. Hello? Yes? Where? Nobody received. It was a lady. Yeah, I did have it signed, but let me tell you where it is. It's in the garage on the right. Sure. Yeah, but it was like the wife. Yeah, it was the wife. It's the lady who lives there. She put it in the garage on the right side. Okay, I won't be able to do that until lunch, which is like at 12:30. Okay, perfect. Okay, okay, bye-bye. So what's 0 divided by -4? Sorry, guys. That was my stepmom. She usually they don't call me, so I figured it was an emergency. Okay. I did a delivery for her, and they sell these cool like acrylic spheres. And oh, you know what they sell? They sell those the spheres. The have you ever been to Disneyland where they have those big rock balls that like spin in water? Yeah, so they make those. So there's like it's big, it's like a big stone, but in the shape of a sphere. Yeah, and they rotate in water. And then they also, that's not what I delivered though, because that would be too heavy. But what I delivered was like a clear glass one. And then there's water that kind of goes up through the middle and then it spills over the side and it looks really cool. But anyway, I delivered one and they said they didn't receive it. But anyway, they did. Okay, so my stepmom, the customer, was like, it didn't come, but it was there. Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so you guys said 0, sorry. So 0, and this is the answer. And you did divide by negative, right? Divide by negative. That part needs to get in your brain, right? The dividing by a negative or multiplying. So it's multiply or divide by a negative. So if you do one of those things, then you do switch the sign. Okay, and then we do the graph. 0, open. You guys are pretty good at this. Less. Less is to the left because that's where the less than numbers go. Cool. Okay, I'm just gonna put another line. Let's see. You guys know how to do all those. Oh, what happens if they put the letters on the right side? Let's do a what happens if they put the letters on the right side. So 6 is greater than 5 minus, oh, we'll do a fraction. No, let's not do a fraction. Let's do 60 instead of 6 and 11t. And then on your t's, I make them a little rounded so they don't look like a plus. Okay, so round your t just a little bit. Okay, now don't answer yet. Okay, I know you guys are fast, so don't answer yet. Here's the door, but you're now outside, but your mom's inside. Okay, so you're going to tell your little brother, hey, brother, go with mom. Okay, but remember, your focus is you want to be alone. So don't move the 60. Okay, you're going to move the 5, and then you're going to also move the -11, the hug. I do the hugs last. The hugs and the puppies are last. Okay, so now, who do I move first? Just who, and then we'll talk about how to move it. So who do I move first? Okay, and that's actually something that you really have to think about because if you go too fast, you might move the 60. Okay, now how do I move it? Okay, I agree. So that's 55 is greater. Bring down the negative. Okay, then what? Okay. Okay, now, oh, did I divide by a negative? So just kind of put a star, some stars so you see it. So I did, right? I divided by negative. So you switch the sign. That's negative 55. Now I'm not going to graph it like that. Okay, so you can't graph it with the T on the right. So you have to change the sides. That's okay, Jonas. It's going to happen from time to time, you guys. Either you're going to get kicked out by your internet, or you can't hear the sound and you're going to need to turn off and turn back on. So something is bound to happen sometime. So don't worry if you log out and log back in. I'm looking at the chats. Okay, mostly I'm looking at the chats. Okay, so when you switch sides, yeah, during summer school, sometimes some people came in and out like 20 times. It was very frustrating because they kept getting kicked out of their system. Okay, so this one, the reason I'm switching sides is because I changed the side of the T. So if I want to change the sign, if I want to change the side of the letter, switch the sign. Okay, so this is a new thing. This was dividing by a negative, right? Switch the sign. This was divided by a negative. Yes. So I switched. But then I had to switch back because I changed the side of the letter. And whatever letter it is, you do it the same way. Now it's a test. So a test means nothing. So that means it's greater than, it's not less than. Okay. Okay, we have a couple with letters on both sides. So I'd say we have maybe 2, 3 examples left, and then you're going to be ready to do your homework. Okay, so for example 8 and example 9, we're going to put them next to each other, okay? Okay, we're going to put them next to each other. And then Gia, if you miss some examples, because you weren't here for a little while, if you miss some examples, I'll send it to you when I'm done, okay? Okay, so example 8 versus example 9. Okay, this is 4 minus 8m is greater than 7 minus 7m. Let's have it 17 minus 7n. I don't want two numbers that are identical in the problem. And then in this one, we're going to have 4 equals negative 8m plus 17 minus 7m, except not equals because we need a greater than. So let me check. Okay. So we want to compare these. Now, some of you on the last notes, on notes number 2, which was the important one, M2, you did not write the words. Okay, so then when you did the homework, you made errors. Okay, the words help your brain process the information instead of just looking at numbers. The words are going to help you remember the topics. What was our question for these? So what was our question? We had a question. So we're going to write this over here. What was the question? Anybody remember what the question was? Because you have to learn to ask yourself questions when you're doing math so that depending on your answer, you do one thing or the other thing. What was your question? Do you remember what my question was? Yeah, it was. There was a question. Yes. So both of you are right. I'm going to say same side and then leave a little space under it, or it was opposite side. Okay, and then same side was what? How did you solve same side ones? Yes, and then which, now that was same side x's, right? Well, in this case, it's m. So same side m or opposite side m? What was same side? Because like Brianna, she put like terms or opposite. So which one was the like terms and which one was add the opposite? We just need to know which one goes with which. So if they're on the same side is like terms. Okay, I agree. So this is like terms. And then opposite side m's is add opposite to move. Okay, okay. So example 8 is opposite. I agree. And 9 is same. Okay, so let's put that up at the top here. Let's put this as opposite side m, and let's put same side m. That's good. And then you'll know which example to do, like when you're doing your homework. This is for, I can put this is for 17, number 17 through 24. You're going to have to ask this question for yourself for your homework. Okay, so opposite side m's, we add the opposite. And I like to have my letters on the left side, so I'm going to add my 7m to both sides. And then some of you forgot the letter M, so I added it on for you when I was looking at your homework. 4 minus 1M. And then I wrote you guys a note that's, and then some of you might not understand what my note meant. It says move letters first. Some of you are moving the 17 and the 4 first. Don't move those first. And there's some equations that get really confusing. Always take care of your letters first. Oh, that's a 4. That's a 4. What I mean by move, it's a good question. So to move, I'm going to highlight it. You don't have to highlight it, but what I want to do is I don't want this negative 7m to be on the right side and then the negative 8m to be on the left side. So I want them to be on the same side of the door. Okay, so here's my door. So I want them to be on the same side. So I'm thinking, well, the negative 7's on the right, the negative 8 is on the left. I can't do like terms because they're not near each other. So I have to add the 7m to remove it. You might think of remove. So maybe remove would be also a good way to think of it. There's other types of problems that it doesn't, yeah, it kind of removes it. So maybe remove is a better word. So I would like to remove it from the right. And then it comes on the left. So it's like I remove it from one side and I put it on the other side. Does that make any sense? I moved it because I like my letters on the left. So let me write this below. I like, so I'm going to put preference down here, okay? So my preference is letters on the left and numbers on the right. Because if not, do you see the one we just had? Do you see the one we just had with the T? Right here, I'm going to highlight right here so you could see it. I don't like my T's on the right. My brain is confused when the T's are on the right. So I like my letters on the left, if possible. Maddox, you can add 8M, but then you get the letters on the wrong side and you have to switch around again. It's completely legal though. If you move the 8M, it would work. But then your brain is like, why are my letters on the right? So that's why I'd like to move the letters to the left. And it doesn't matter. Okay, so does that make sense? Good. I'm glad you guys are asking me questions. Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. Okay, so for this one, now here, this is me, right? Oh, M is a good letter. Me. I'm here. Here's my door. There's my mom. I got to get rid of the 4 and the negative 1. What do you want to do first? Yeah, and then Maddox, you would get the answer right if you added 8m to both sides. It would work completely. And sometimes if I don't know what to do, sometimes I do move it to that side. There's a problem on one of your homeworks on, I think it's homework 2, where I think it's actually easier to move them to the right side instead of move them to the left side. So you want to have flexibility. Okay, so how do I get rid of the 4 or the -1? Which one do you guys think you should get rid of first? Yeah, so -4. Okay. And then bring down this negative. A lot of you would just put -m. So let's just put -m. Okay. And then some people just, when they were doing equations, they would just like remove the negative from both sides. But we have to actually figure out what we're doing because we have to know whether it's going to change the sign. So if you just like delete the negatives from both sides, that's not really a math operation. So what that negative is really a 1, right? So how do you get rid of that? Yeah, now he just said divide by -1. So if you divide by -1, let's put a star. Okay, star. So what's that going to be? M less than. Yes. And then what's a negative divided by a negative? Oh, good job, Maddox. And Andrew, you're actually right, but I made an error. Oh, that's so cool. You guys, that was an actual error. Okay, so this was up 17, down 4. So what should that 13 have been? Yeah, so you guys, I'm wrong at a step above. Yeah, isn't this up 13? Yeah, you guys, I'm going to highlight it because I made an error so you can fix it. So see this yellow minus sign? It's not supposed to be a minus sign. This is supposed to be a plus sign. So look where I highlighted because I made an error. So I was like, Andrew's not, Andrew, you're pretty good with your negatives. I was like, how come Andrew got it wrong? That was weird. But it wasn't him, it was me. Okay, what's 13 divided by -1 now? Yeah. Okay, so good job. You guys fixed that. Okay, we're not going to graph this one just because we're here at the bottom. Okay, but here, let's just draw a little mini graph. Okay, it's fine. Let's not graph that one. Okay, so now this one, same side m's. Okay, so same side m's, this guy right here and this guy right here, underline with the negatives because it's very important that you see both of those as negatives. That's a -8m and a -7m. Okay, those are both negatives. The title, the negative, sometimes I'll call that Mr. So that's Mr. 8m and Mr. 7m. You want to be thinking of the sign in the front of the letter, I mean the number, as the sign. Okay. Okay, so what's a -8m and -7m? We're almost done with this part, so I want to make sure I quickly check your guys' chats again, see if we have any low people. Let's see. Gia, you're still a little low. Alex, Hongze, you're doing better than usual. Nathan, you're a little low. Nathan, you only have 4. Okay. Yeah, so you guys, that's -15m plus 17, 4. Okay. Oh, wow. This came out to be a fraction, but that's okay. It's not a fraction yet. Okay, what's next? Oh, I didn't mean to go to that. Okay, that's okay. Yes. It's weird, right? The sides are backwards. So the sides are backwards. So do I move the 4 or the 17? Yeah, I moved the 17, but you could see where moving the 4 makes sense, but that's why you have to box yourself, box your me. Okay, so negative 13. So Alex and Gia, you guys need to get your chats up a little bit. Okay, so answer, Alex and Gia. Okay, so this is what, negative 15m. Then what's next? Thank you, Alex. What's next? Okay, and I'm dividing by negative 15 because it's with the m. Okay, negative divided by negative is a positive. Weird fraction. What do I write next? What do you think? Do you guys agree or disagree with Andrew? I do. Good, good. You guys are awesome. Okay, less than. And then M. And you guys, I don't like my letters. So this one, do you see how the letters were on the right? I prefer them not on the right because it looks backwards to me. So that's why when I did the example 8, I specifically chose to move the letter from the right because I don't really like it on the right. But this one, it's on the right. I didn't have a choice. And then when you switch sides, it switches around. Okay, and then how do you graph if it's a fraction? Don't panic. Just put it right there in the middle, right? We're only putting one number anyway. Open circle to the right. Make sure you're drawing your thick lines. Okay, and I'm going to say we're going to be done from here. Okay, so we're going to do so homework number 6. Okay, so you can take a 5-minute stretch break. We're not going to do the voices though. Okay, because that didn't work well last time. I still have to go back and watch that video. Hopefully you guys didn't say anything inappropriate. But then I couldn't send that video to people. I did send it to some people and said, don't. There might be some problems in the middle of the video. I'm gonna stop recording this.